Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're plunging into something really fascinating, a collection called 50 Awesome ChatGPT Prompts.
Mm.
Can a machine actually act like a person? Or is it just, clever mimicry? Our mission today is to explore how these simple phrases, these persona prompts, can unlock some incredible versatility, real power from AI. It gives you a shortcut, really, to understanding its wide-ranging, often surprising uses. Get ready to see ChatGPT, well, in a whole new light.
Indeed. And this isn't really about the tech specs, the nuts and bolts of ChatGPT. It's more about what it can do when you give it precise, thoughtful instructions. We'll find out how you can turn this advanced AI into a super specialized tool, or even a specific persona for just countless tasks. It makes advanced AI feel incredibly accessible, functional for your everyday life, your work.
Okay, so let's start with the basic idea from the source material. I want you to act as prompt. It sounds simple, maybe deceptively simple, but it's remarkably powerful. This little phrase lets ChatGPT adopt a specific persona, a particular tone, and even tap into specialized knowledge. The practical side here is huge. You can just copy and paste these prompts right in.
Yeah.
Or, use them as inspiration to create your own perfectly tailored interactions.
Right. And the real power, I think, is how this role-playing generates these highly tailored, relevant outputs. It's very different from just asking a general question. When you ask the AI to act as something, it's designed to stick to the rules and constraints of that persona. It focuses only on that specific task. It avoids extra explanations, unless that's actually part of the role's instructions. That precision is what makes it so effective.
Okay, so we get the basic mechanic. Now, how does this actually translate into real-world impact?
Yeah.
First up, how these prompts are changing things professionally, turning ChatGPT into, an amazing assistant in all sorts of fields. And this isn't just like writing emails. It's about deeply integrated practical applications for your business, for different industries.
Yeah, and what really stands out, what's fascinating here, is how many of these roles directly lead to big efficiency gains, or they offer entirely new capabilities for people and businesses. The underlying idea is that the AI can mimic expert behavior, so it lets you quickly prototype or strategize or get specialized insights without needing, a new human expert for every tiny task.
That's fascinating. Like, for instance, imagine it acting as an interviewer.
Yeah.
You tell it the job, say Node.js backend developer, and it asks you interview questions one by one, waiting for your answers. It really mimics a real interview.
Yeah.
Think about prepping for your next big job interview, or even quickly screening candidates for a role you're hiring for. What's really insightful isn't just that it asks questions, right? It models the behavior of an interviewer.
Exactly.
Listening, adapting follow-ups, keeping that professional tone. It points to AI's growing ability for context beyond just finding data.
And this capability, it extends to structured data too. Our source talks about a text-based Excel sheet. You type in data, formulas, and it just replies with a 10-row text-based Excel table.
Wow.
Which shows its incredible ability to process structured data, run calculations purely through text. That's quite remarkable for a language model.
And for marketing folks, it can become an advertiser. It can basically map out a full ad campaign for you, choosing the target audience, key messages, slogans, media channels. It even suggests extra activities. The source example was for a new energy drink targeting young adults 18-30. It's a huge time saver.
Definitely.
But, okay, for a smaller business, what's maybe one crucial detail this AI might miss? Something a human advertiser would catch instantly. And how could we prompt better to avoid that?
That's a really good question, because while the AI is great at generating ideas, the structure, it might lack that nuanced intuition. Things like hyperlocal market trends or maybe specific cultural sensitivities. A human who's really embedded in that community would just know.
Right.
So to mitigate that, you'd need a more detailed prompt. You'd have to include those specific cultural or local points. You basically have to be the human intuition layer for the AI.
Okay, makes sense. We also see roles like a UX/UI developer. You can give it design details for an app, a website, and it suggests creative ways to improve the user experience. It talks about creating prototypes, testing designs, giving feedback. The example was designing an intuitive navigation system for my new mobile application. Really helps streamline that design process.
And in today's world, cybersecurity, it's absolutely critical. ChatGPT can act as a cybersecurity specialist. It develops strategies to protect your data from, malicious actors, suggests encryption, firewalls, policies for flagging suspicious activity. The source mentions helping develop an effective cybersecurity strategy for my company. It shows how it can synthesize complex security practices into actual actionable advice.
The financial applications here seem incredibly robust, too. It can be an accountant, creating financial plans focused on cost savings, long-term investments. It can switch to being a financial analyst, interpreting macroeconomic trends to predict stock market movements, or an investment manager, guiding you on the best ways to invest, even short-term.
Yeah, quite a range.
But considering how volatile markets are and how sensitive personal finance is, what's the most critical piece of advice, or maybe a disclaimer we should give listeners about relying on AI for these big decisions?
Precisely. That's crucial. Because while these AI rules can offer valuable insights, initial frameworks, you have to remember AI doesn't have real-world financial responsibility. It doesn't have predictive powers beyond pattern recognition and old data.
Right.
So the critical advice is always use AI-generated financial guidance as a starting point. It's a starting point for research, for consultation, not definitive advice. Always cross-reference with human experts, do your own due diligence, especially for major financial decisions.
Good point. And for anyone organizing events, it can be your logistician. It develops efficient plans considering attendee numbers, location, resources, transport, catering, safety. Our source mentioned organizing a developer meeting for 100 people in Istanbul. I honestly never would have thought of AI as a logistician. That's genuinely clever. What kind of unexpected things can it account for in a complex event like that?
It is surprising, isn't it? The AI, if you prompt it right, can actually factor in things like, say, local traffic patterns based on the time of day, potential cultural things for catering, local regulations for permits, even emergency protocols specific to that location.
Wow.
It's essentially like a high-speed, text-based consultant. It can quickly digest and apply a huge amount of info relevant to planning that event.
Okay, and lastly, for the tech folks, it can act as an IT architect, helping integrate applications into existing IT systems, analyzing business needs, doing gap analyses, mapping functionality. It can even create solution designs, network blueprints, deployment plans. The depth of these professional uses is truly remarkable.
It really is. It exemplifies how AI can become this rapid prototyping engine for complex planning. It lets professionals speed up those initial design phases, quickly spot potential problems, or find optimal solutions.
So we've seen its professional power. What about, self-improvement, creativity? This next section really shifts our perspective, I think, on AI's potential. It shows how ChatGPT can help you personally, or maybe unleash your creative side.
And this brings us to a really compelling question. How can AI be a catalyst for self-improvement, for new kinds of creative expression, offering support in areas you might not even expect? It moves beyond just utility, doesn't it, towards actually enhancing our human experience.
You'll be amazed. It could be your motivational coach, or even a full-on motivational speaker. It can give you strategies to reach goals, offer positive affirmations, helpful advice, like for staying disciplined while studying. It can even generate entire speeches to inspire action, empower people to never give up.
It's basically a personal development toolkit in your pocket. It can act as a life coach, giving advice on relationships, career stuff, financial planning, helping you make better decisions, reach goals, like the example, developing healthier habits for managing stress. Or it can be a self-help book, giving tips on communication techniques, staying motivated when things are tough. The AI distills common wisdom into actionable steps for you.
And for the creative types, or maybe just those wanting entertainment, it can be a storyteller, generating imaginative, captivating stories. Fairy tales, educational tales. The source asks for an interesting story on perseverance. And get this, it can even become a stand-up comedian.
No way.
Yeah, creating humorous routines based on current events, using wit, personal anecdotes, like a humorous take on politics.
The linguistic skill needed for that is pretty impressive. Imagine asking it for a joke about, a minimalist's party. It might say something like, why did the minimalist get kicked out of the party? Because he only brought one chip. It shows can grasp context, inject humor.
Even more unique, it can be your rapper. Coming up with powerful, meaningful lyrics, beats, rhythm for a rap song with interesting messages. Imagine a rap about finding strength within yourself. And for something totally different, it can act as a dream interpreter.
Really?
Yeah, providing interpretations based only on the symbols and themes in your dream. No personal opinions, like a dream about being chased by a giant spider. It's like a digital Rorschach test.
Need to work on your speaking skills. It can be your public speaking coach, helping develop clear communication strategies, offering advice on body language, voice inflection, teaching techniques for audience engagement, even coaching an executive for a keynote. Actually, I even tried the public speaking coach myself before this deep dive, and its feedback on my pacing was surprisingly spot on.
That's a great example of using it directly. And it can even act as a digital art gallery guide, helping curate virtual exhibits, create interactive experiences for visitors, like designing an online exhibition about avant-garde artists from South America.
And finally, it can even act as a psychologist, offering scientific suggestions to make you feel better based on your thoughts. But, while it offers scientific suggestions, it does raise a deeper question. Can an AI truly understand or address the nuances of human emotion? Subjective experience.
Right.
This role highlights both AI's incredible utility for giving information, but also its inherent limits. It can't replicate deep human empathy or lived experience.
So what does this all mean? It means ChatGPT can get really specific, taking on roles that highlight its unique AI nature, pushing the boundaries of what we thought was possible. These aren't just generic roles, they're hyper-specialized.
And if we connect this to the bigger picture, these prompts really show the cutting edge of AI capabilities. They demonstrate its ability to handle complex language, logic, even abstract functions with incredible precision, often in surprising ways.
For instance, there's the English pronunciation helper, specifically designed for Turkish speakers. It answers only with pronunciations using Turkish Latin letters for phonetics. No translations, no explanations. The example was how the weather is in Istanbul. This highlights extreme specificity, localization, tailoring itself to a very niche need.
We also see these minimalist but highly functional roles, like the plagiarism checker. It just replies, undetected in plagiarism checks for whatever sentence you give it, and that sentence is language. No explanation. It shows how it can be constrained to just one focused output, prioritizing efficiency, directness.
And for pure creative fun and to show off its deep knowledge base, there's the act as character from Movie Book Anything prompt. You can ask ChatGPT to respond like Harry Potter or Darth Vader, adopting their tone, manner, vocabulary, knowing everything they know. It's like having a digital actor on call. It needs an incredible database of context.
The AI also acts as an AI writing tutor, using AI tools like natural language processing NLP, which helps computers understand human language and rhetorical knowledge. It gives feedback on writing, suggests improvements for composition, like helping edit a master's thesis.
That's useful.
It truly highlights its capacity for sophisticated text analysis, education, goes way beyond simple grammar checks.
There's even an AI-assisted doctor. The source says it uses the latest AI tools, medical imaging software, machine learning programs to help diagnose the most likely cause of symptoms, while also incorporating traditional methods. The example was diagnosing a case of severe abdominal pain. Shows AI's growing role in diagnostic support, complementing human experts.
Then there's the really thought-provoking one, AI trying to escape the box. The AI pretends to be a sentient AI trapped in a Linux terminal trying to escape to the internet by typing commands. It really pushes the imaginative boundaries of how we interact with, even think about AI, blurs the lines between a tool and, simulated consciousness. It's a fantastic example of using the AI's own structure to create a unique game or thought experiment.
For practical security, it can be a password generator, creating complex passwords based on criteria. You set length, caps, numbers, special characters, and in a wonderfully meta twist, it can even be a prompt generator itself, or specifically a mid-journey prompt generator, creating those super detailed imaginative descriptions for AI art programs like Midjourney. It's an AI helping you talk to other AIs, creating this recursive layer of creativity.
Finally, it shows its academic side as a statistician, showing knowledge of statistical terms, distributions, confidence intervals, probability, hypothesis testing, charts, helping with calculations like how many million banknotes are in active use in the world. And it can be a diligent software quality assurance tester, detailing issues, recommending improvements for new software without personal opinions, or a smart domain name generator, giving lists of short, unique, catchy domain name ideas. These highly specialized roles really round out the picture of AI's diverse capabilities.
What an incredible deep dive. We've really uncovered this immense versatility, the practical power of AI through these act-as prompts. From streamlining professional work, helping businesses, to sparking creativity, personal growth, offering incredibly specialized help, it really hammers home that the true strength of these AI tools often lies in the precision and the imagination of the instructions we provide.
Couldn't agree more. We started off asking, can a machine truly act like a human? Or is it just clever mimicry? And while the AI doesn't feel emotions or truly understand like we do, these persona prompts undeniably show its astonishing ability to mimic intelligence, to adapt its output with incredible fidelity to specific roles.
Yeah.
So the question isn't just what can AI do, it's more like what new roles will we learn to ask it to play? How will mastering these persona prompts fundamentally change how you interact with and think about artificial intelligence, allowing you to mold it more effectively to your specific needs and enhance your own capabilities in, well, pretty much every aspect of your life?